Mic check.
It's the lab, baby, and
Hold
we
on.
late, and
Mic
we
check,
late.
mic check. Are we in here?
So for the ones that are watching right now, that's checking us out.
Here you
go. So 3 weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, I came in all late and all my stuff wasn't right, trying to get my raggedy earbuds in, sent the earbuds back out. He dogged me out because I didn't have my stuff right.
Fucking trash.
This week, we about to go live, and he had those Apple AirPods. Why does James do Apple? Had those Apple AirPods in his ear all day long, and he didn't fool around, and they died, and that's why we 3 minutes late. So anyway, welcome to the lab, y'all. My name is Tall Boy. Hope all is well. They said it was 2 weeks ago, so this week it's tech. It's live streaming. Stuff happens. But that's James, aka that's James Hicks.
Whole little vibe there, but like I told you, as soon as we get off the air, I'm heading over to Best Buy and picking up some new ones because I'm tired of these failing on me.
Why don't you just go with what I got and do the over the ear?
Now you're gonna make me go through the what we got? I got my monitors right here, so I got the gear.
Okay, right? then use those, and we'd be good.
You know, I got the high equipment. You know, I done paid enough dollars for this gear.
See how she do? You see how she do me? I wanted to be right. I wanted to be right. If we say 9 o'clock, we don't mean 9:02. We ain't trying to be on CP time.
CP time, God, no, don't be on CP time, brother.
I never known Barack to be on CP time.
Okay. You don't go that route.
Okay. But you know, 45, he had his show last night at 2 o'clock. So that wasn't CP time. I don't know what else was.
So you're just gonna go there, right, and start there. This is, I'll be honest with you, this is the first time I done smiled probably in 36 hours because I've been up almost that entire time watching the results, watching the count.
Were you stressed out?
I went through about 3/4 of a bottle of whiskey. My wife, I think she may. I'm not gonna tell on her. I think she may have drunk a whole bottle of wine. But look, there was some tension, and it's tough. It still is, but yeah. So we're watching the numbers here. I know folks are probably multitasking as well. Thank you for tuning into the lab. But other more important things are going on in society and things like that. So we will keep you abreast of how that falls. But yeah, you're right. So the election is happening. I think, let's talk about a technology aspect to what's been going on with the election ballot count.
Okay.
I think it's quite telling that there's a lot of focus on obviously getting it right. Mm-hmm. And that makes sense. We want to get it right. Every ballot needs to be counted. Everyone needs to have their voice. If you stood in line for hours, if you stood in the rain or whatever, and you cast that ballot, you definitely want your thing counted. I'm loving what I'm seeing a lot of the major networks using. They're using these magic walls, these magic boards, right? So we're able to drill down and see results.
Take the zoom in and you go right into the county by county. Be able to say, all right, well, if I hit this button, this is what the numbers would look like for the electoral points that you would get. I mean, I love that technology, and I hope that they will eventually bring it to consumers, in the next couple of years. I mean, quite naturally, I'm not sure what service that they're using, but it would be nice to be able to say, if you're doing like a web seminar or conference or something like that, you could use that same type of technology as what you're seeing on CNN or what you're seeing with ABC and NBC. So that would be
I think MSNBC and CNN use exact same software because I was flipping back and forth through all three of them. I'm looking at Fox, and they've already called one state for Biden as opposed to what everyone else is. That's the one that's in contention right now. But, they're all using something. And again, I guess to bring it back to tech, the fact that there's very low room for human error, right? There's no more hanging chads for the old folks who remember what happened in Florida a number of years ago. It's actually, if you filled in the oval, if you mailed it in, if you signed it, it's going to get counted. You don't have nothing to worry about. So all this other frivolous noise that's happening right now, don't worry about that. But Uh,
I like the fact that what I'm seeing with social media is not allowing anything to go
yeah,
on. And I don't know if you've seen some of 45 Street tweets. I don't know if you've seen some of the other people who have put out some information that was not fact checked. They have they have hidden that post, so you can't just put out a false claim without it being fact checked by the AP. I
yeah.
think they said it was CNN, NBC. It had to be like a major outlet, and once it was that major outlet, then it was confirmed.
Yeah, I mean, even you think about it, the Facebooks, the Twitters, the Snapchats, all of those, they've got to do that, right? Or else they're going to lose their credibility with their user base. If someone's spewing hot garbage out there and it's not accurate, you got to make a stance and you got to take it down or you got to flag it or whatever and make folks aware that this isn't actually accurate. So yeah, shouts out to them and kudos to them for at least making that effort. They've still got a lot to do and a lot of work to do because there's still a lot of contention about the types of ads that those platforms allow candidates in the political and electoral process. Look, I can't even talk. I told you I've been up for 36 hours, brother. I can't talk. Um, but yeah, it's good that they're being on top of that and making sure that what is being written and exposed to the user community is actually accurate. So.
That's what's up. Now, what I also saw that was quite interesting on your side of the world,
Oh,
Uber and Lyft.
yeah.
They had a situation with Prop 22, and quite naturally, it was on your ballot. Can you tell us a little bit about Prop 22 and how it affects the app Uber and Lyft?
Yeah, so essentially the idea is do gig employees that drive for Uber, that drive for Lyft, do they become actual employees of these companies, or do they continue to maintain their independent contractor status and click to drive at will, right? I mean, that's the whole idea, honestly, behind riding or driving for Uber or driving for Lyft. I think in my mind, I had some early insight to what Uber was doing when they first launched. So I had some talks with the CEO there. So I understand what the company wants to do and what they've told um, their employees or their drivers, right? And I think staying with that mindset was what Prop 22 was all about, allowing the drivers to maintain their ability to stay independent, not necessarily be on Uber and or Lyft's paperwork. And that's what passed. So look, yeah, there was a lot of money that was plowed into the yes on 22 proposition.
Two hundred million,
Yeah,
two hundred million dollars, and then from what I'm understanding is, and they said that it had nothing to do with voter, like not, it didn't have anything to do with voter, like leaning toward the voters, trying to make it go sway their way. I think the judge ordered it down, but they said that they were putting in as you were downloading the app and you were requesting an Uber or a Lyft, they were saying vote for Prop 22. So they were putting their messaging or their campaign for it inside of the actual app, and you had to okay. They didn't say this is what would happen to the actual driver or something negative would happen to you, like you would lose your job.
yeah.
But it was just basically saying, hey, um, vote for Prop 22 to keep gig workers alive, as opposed to making them come out as employees. Because I think if they had lost Prop 22, if I'm correct, then they would have had to actually hire employees, and then all the people that drive for Uber and Lyft would probably be out of a job. Is that how essentially that?
And that's how I read into it, right? And that's how I understand it, right? With the passing of the proposition, there's actually, as I've got highlighted here, right? They are going to be eligible for additional health insurance, health benefits, a different minimum wage that is more respective of when you're actually driving, as opposed to just when you're waiting for a ride or something. When you're waiting for someone to be in your area and to say that they need a ride. So from the surface, it appears that it's actually more advantageous for the independent driver. And I think I think we're just gonna have to see, right? I mean, I voted for it. Every time I would take an Uber or a Lyft, I would talk to the driver and say, "How you liking what you're doing?" They always told me they love the flexibility, right? They love to be able to say, you know what, after I get off my other job, take care of the kids, boom, I click on the app and say I'm available to drive, and they go out there and do their thing. So I think the majority of the actual drivers were wanting to maintain this independent kind of contract status.
I got you. So I'm reading here, they were saying that if it had failed, Uber and Lyft were saying that it would be longer wait times and higher prices. And they also claimed that drivers would lose their livelihoods. In order to request a ride, users had to tap the confirm button on the message. And then they also are saying that the use of the apps to push a political message, as I was mentioning earlier, may be legal, but it still felt improper. And
no, I haven't seen any of that lately, just because I haven't been taking one because you can't go anywhere. But I have seen pop-ups from Uber for Uber Eats.
mm-hmm.
Right. So I haven't actually logged into the app and said, come pick me up or something like that. But yeah, that seems a little fishy if they're actually doing political advertisements on the platform as well. So that seems kind of
Well, they were saying that it was legal, and then from my understanding, they said this isn't the first time that they've done this. They said back in 2015, the company was feuding with New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio or whatever in his effort to limit the number of new ride-hail vehicles on the road, and basically they push political messaging inside of their app as well. So I think that's kind of where that's kind of what caught my attention, is saying, you look at the new services like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Airbnb, and Uber and Lyft. They now have their own built-in platform with a built-in. They built their platform from ground up. They have their own user follow, or they have their own following, shall we say?
Yeah.
And then they can push out their political message just as if they were a celebrity or they're a major corporate brand. When you think about it, I'm not trying to be funny, but Uber and Lyft, they canceled the taxi cab drivers. Airbnb has canceled the hotels. DoorDash is now canceled out the delivery drivers. So when you think about it, and I think I would have probably, if I lived in California, would have probably said no to it, because I think you would have got benefits if you would have hired them. But at the same token, it's like, what's the trade-off? They're the gig workers, the 1099 workers, but if you would have hired them as gig employees, as actual employees, then they would have got health benefits. Am I correct?
Possibly, yeah. And what you're saying, and actually what Tammy is saying, is, look, I love hearing both sides of the conversation, right? But I think at the end of the day, yeah, this whole what happened with COVID and the lockdown, no one ever expected that. So that changed the entire dynamic for how this was to play out and who would benefit and who would be on pros versus the cons kind of thing. Well, we'll see, right? Again, it's just been since this morning since it's been approved, and hopefully that the actual workers, the actual drivers, will see some benefits from this. Hopefully, again, they'll start getting more calls for rides, or actually start making that wage, making those tips, because I do that a lot, right? So I take a lot of Lyft and Uber rides for work, and I'll drop in that little tip too. So irregardless of what they're getting for that minimum or their hourly wage, I'll drop in a tip for their service, tip for their time, because no one calls a taxi cab anymore. No one does any of that. It's gotten to be so easy to call Uber and Lyft because it's so convenient that there's no other option for the most part, especially here in the Silicon Bay area. That's it. That's what we do.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's see how it plays out over the next couple of years, shall we say?
Yeah, we'll see if we're voting on this one more time, right? And if I'm changing.
Well, I think it sets a precedent to where they can use it for other states, and then I think it will eventually be something that will eventually hit the Supreme Court years down the road. I'd probably say about another 5 years, if not sooner. But I think that somebody's not going to be happy. They're going to challenge it to your state court, and then state court will take it to the next court. And I think in about 5 to 10 years, you'll probably see something to where it's like, all right, do you pay them as employees?
Yeah.
Or do you pay them as gig workers? So we'll see how that goes.
Yep.
Well, you want to go next, or you want me to bring up the next topic since we talking about phones?
All right, brother, go ahead, do your thing, brother, do your thing.
No, I'm gonna be nice to you right now. I'm not going into Apple. What do you do with your old phones? Because you always talking about. Well, you said you're skipping a generation, but what do you do with your old phones?
I hand them down. My kids get my sloppy seconds, and they're not very sloppy because they do pretty well. So I either will give it to them, or every year I would just trade it into my carrier, right? So I lease the phone on the plan, and by the time that I get the new one, I've already paid enough for the lease to where I can just trade it in without having to pay extra. So that's just what I do. I don't keep any old. I should have kept like the old Motorola StarTAC, some old Nokias. What else did I have? Man, I had all the phones. Man.
Yeah, the flip phone. Did you have the big brick, the one with the big one that was in New Jack City?
The big white one with the rubber. Yeah, I did have that. I had the bag phone too. Look, I had them all. Should have kept those and put those in the vault somewhere. But
right.
That's what I do. I trade them in actually each year.
Well, today, and I want to talk about this because I was speaking to somebody earlier this week, and they were saying that they had an iPhone, believe it or not, and they said that it's not fair that if they traded the phone in, then they would only get $300 for the phone. And I said, well, that's a fair price. I mean, if you bought the phone for let's just say $900 and you had it for 2 years. Mm-hmm. It's worth, by the time you get through leasing the phone out, it's worth the trade-in. But if you choose not to trade in your phone, there's 8 new uses for your old smartphone. And some of them
tell us what this is.
And some of them are tech and some of them are not. I mean, some of them are old school. So, I mean, and it makes sense when you think about it. You can keep it as a spare phone. What if you're going out of the country and, that phone does not, it's a CDMA versus a GSM. What do you do with that?
How many pockets you got, and how many bags you got to keep all these spare phones?
You should see me when I travel, man. I got a whole little travel tech bag that has zippers and all kind of stuff. That has pockets for chargers, my money, my passport. I can put a small Motorola Z StarTAC in there. But one was keep a spare phone. So just in case something ever happens, you got something to fall back on. Go get you a new SIM card, even though it'll be a new number, but you can have that. You can actually use it as a remote control app for your iOS and the Google Home for Chromecast devices. And I thought that and Roku and the Roku app.
That's a cool idea. I like that. Yeah.
So instead of using that Google Chrome, people aren't even thinking about this. It's like you're doing this where you just download the app and you just press it on your phone and it operates. It turns the TV on, turns the TV off. You can log into your apps. You can type in everything because it has the built-in keyboard. I mean, that's pretty dope. I mean, when you think about it, right?
I mean, that's what I do. That's how I'm controlling the monitor behind. I've got the Roku app on my phone. So I mean, I agree with that. You have no complaints from me on that. I like that. Yeah.
All right. Your son is into gaming, so maybe he can't. And with the PlayStation app that we talked about last week, shout out to Eric for joining us last week. But we were talking about allowing the PlayStation app. You can now use the PlayStation app to load up the game and to have chat messages with everybody. That's your friends inside of the PlayStation app. You can use it as an actual gaming platform. And they're now saying gadgets like the mobile gaming clip for the Xbox wireless controllers that let you clamp your phone to the Xbox or PlayStation controllers to drive gameplay. So like the little driving games, you can use it for that. So, or if you got a Switch, you can use it as well for the Switch. So
you can't find a Switch no place on the planet, but I was looking for one. So if you don't already have one, you're not gonna get one. If Santa Claus ain't coming if Nintendo don't start shipping them things out. I've been looking.
Next, you can set it up as a webcam. Now, what we had at the beginning of the year, everybody was trying to go out and buy webcams, but people were the C920, the Logitech C920 was sold out. They were overpriced. Capitalism at its best. What people did not know is you could take your phone, plug it into an HDMI, and plug it into a capture card, and now it's now considered as a webcam. Right. So now you have that, and you have that same, because you got to think the phone has the camera, which has a decent camera on there, as opposed to you just going out and buy a cheap webcam. Why don't you let the phone have its old, use it as a use case for a webcam? Why not?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Let me see. They said something about an old school media device. They said before the iPhone, you had to carry two devices, a cell phone and a separate music player. So remember the iPod and stuff like that? Well, they said your old phone can still work as a standalone media storage device, either to back up your library or for actual use. And because the Wi-Fi still works, you can even use your older phones as a streaming platform, assuming your account is licensed for multiple devices.
There's always an if there, brother.
Hey, I'm using somebody's password. I'm sorry. Don't knock it. Their first phone. So, I have this thing with my cousins. They're young. Well, now they're now gotten older, but when they were real young, they used to wanted to, kids see the bright, shiny lights and they want to play on the phone. Well, how many times have you been to the doctor's office? You've been to the grocery store and you give the kid the phone just to shut them up from crying so they can play their game. Give them that phone. Don't give them your $1,200 phone. Give them the phone that you ain't using no more.
Give them that $40 phone instead of that.
Hey, Boost Mobile got some great plans, man. They said you can donate it to charity. You might want to look at that. That's nice, but I don't think nobody's going to do that.
I was going to say that's nice, but yeah, it's nice.
And then if you're really wild and crazy, why don't you just take it apart and break it down and say, hey, I broke down the phone and I built it back together, and you could be the Steve Jobs.
Yeah. I think the best one of those for me would probably be the using it as a remote, since that's what I do now with my phone. But yeah, look, that's true, right? Instead of spending a whole bunch of money every single cycle and trying to turn it in, and you don't get hardly anything for the return value.
It's kind of like it's like GameStop. You go to GameStop and you buy the game, and then it's like every year 2K comes out, and then they tell you, oh, when the season is over with, you can trade the game in, and we're only going to give you $3.99 for it. Man, I paid $60. No, that game gonna sit here. You see that collection up there? All of those is probably 2K 20, 19, 18, 17, and 15. I don't know. Oh yeah, look, they're gonna sit up there and collect dust. That's what they're gonna do. So, hey man, I'm trying.
Well, I'm looking at him, see, because I know Isaiah's trying to turn in some of his games right now, and I'm scared to hear what they're going to tell him for return or trade-in value. Because I know what I paid for them, and I do not.
You're not going to get that same value. You might be lucky if you get $10, $15.
Man, look, I'm gonna go. Don't tell me that.
I'm just telling you what it is. You're only gonna get $10, $15 unless you go trade in Call of Duty or something like that. You might get $25 for that. But we'll do a topic on GameStop next week because some of their practices are not really cool. But I don't have my facts in front of me. But when you hear what they do and some of the things that they've been doing, it's kind of like they're really like the last version of Blockbuster, but for video games. When you think about it,
there's nobody else like them. Yeah, and they know it. So I think that's why they know.
And their business practices aren't the greatest, but it's kind of like, hey, they are a trusted source. And unless you feel like going to, I just purchased the game Watch Dogs. They just came out on Thursday or Friday. I just purchased it, and my last 72 to 96 hours I've been playing a video game nonstop. But I was going to go to GameStop, but I ended up going to Walmart, had a horrible customer experience there, went to Best Buy, and as soon as I walked into Best Buy, I didn't see the game in the gaming section. said something to one of the employees, and they said, "Oh, it's already at the customer service desk." Didn't touch no hands.
Like
She
that.
she literally just said, "This is what it is with tax." I put the chip in the machine. She came out with the receipt. She slided the game over. I was in and out of the store in less than 2 minutes.
I like that. I like that.
Hands free.
God.
What you got? What you got? What's next?
Well, I can't. I don't know if I can top that. Look, a lot of stuff going on every which way but loose. Let's talk a little music. I'm all about music right now. Let me get this screen on here. You're obviously not an Apple man, so what do you use for your streaming music service?
I use somebody's password, and it's called Spotify. Now I do have. Now, actually, believe it or not, I have some DJ friends here in Atlanta. They have an app called 247mixing.com.
Yeah, you turned me on to that.
So if you guys are watching, if you guys want to hear some good, clean music, it could be reggae, R&B, rap, whatever. They're building their library or their catalog of DJs, and they DJ all over the United States, and they have their own time slot. They get 30 minutes to an hour, and they give their mixes, and all their mixes are clean music. And 247mixing.com. I know the people that are behind that, and I support them heavily. So for me, I use that, but I use Spotify.
Okay, yeah, and I've used that service ever since you told me about it, 224/7, and I've had that kind of going in the background every once in a while. My take on the Spotify one is, so I've got Spotify and Apple Music, Spotify Premium, and I also have the Apple Watch, obviously. But what we've been waiting for on the Apple Watch side is for Spotify to finally have the capability of streaming music or having music play from the watch without having to have your phone with you, right? Instead of having to be tethered to the phone.
Okay.
Because you can do that with the Apple Watch if you have Apple Music, right? So when I go to the gym, I don't even take my phone with me. I just stream everything from my watch. I got all my playlists on my watch. That way I'm not distracted by sitting there looking at the phone or anything. And now,
so let me ask you this. Now you have your watch and your AirPods connected together, and you can hear the music through the watch?
Yeah. Okay. I actually download the playlist. One, I download the playlist to my watch, and I can also stream from my watch as well, which is really cool, right? That's the whole, to me, was the whole value proposition of getting the Wi-Fi plus cellular watch.
Okay, so let me rewind because I'm not very familiar.
Yeah, get it, bro. Think about what I'm saying. Am I gonna switch you over here a little bit?
No, you're not. But so you have your actual phone.
Yeah.
You have Spotify.
Yeah.
And then you download your playlist into your phone, is what you're saying. Into your watch.
Both, yeah. So my playlists are on my phone, and I have a handful of playlists. I also have loaded locally on my watch as well.
Okay, I think we have a little lag with him. I don't know what his internet connection is looking like right about now. Your internet connection is all right. I mean, you got 8 megs. You just froze up on us. You froze up on the wall.
I was just still, right? I'm just a calm. I was just still for a minute. I just wasn't saying that.
Hey man, you got that cheap internet all the way out there on the West Coast, man. You with Comcast or you with AT&T? Like, what you doing over there? I told you. If we're gonna do this, I need you to be like Inspector Gadget. I need you to be like Batman. I need you to have your stuff right, man. Like, you out here showing up.
As much as I'm paying for this bandwidth, it's probably my son up there screaming right now. He's actually on.
Now he won't blame it on Isaiah. There you go. Oh man.
Let's get back to what I was talking.
So what I was asking was, you have your phone, you download the playlist or the songs that you want.
Yeah.
Put it into your phone and put it into your watch.
Yeah.
You leave your phone in the car. You can still take phone calls on your watch that's connected to your AirPods, and you can play your music. Is that what you're saying?
That's dope, ain't it? You gotta think about that. That's dope, ain't it? Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, Inspector Gadget. I see.
So that's the whole Apple ecosystem working there. And again, for years we've been waiting for Spotify to allow that as well. And I think it was just recently, just this past week, they've announced it, or they've launched that within the platform. to where you can do the exact same thing. It
Okay.
shows up, it shows up in beta when you actually do it, right? So it's not officially released to everyone. It's slowly being rolled out to all of the users. But I tried it last night. It works perfectly. Again, so again, you now have more flexibility, capability, irregardless of whatever your streaming platform is. So I really appreciate that Spotify is doing that, and I think that's going to be a huge win for them.
Gotcha. That's what's up. I like that. I mean, now I just got to go find me a watch that I just can't see, but I see the use case that you have it. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, how much tech do you really need to have? Shall we say it? Like it's dope to have.
Hold
It's
on.
dope.
Let me.
No, I'm just saying.
He
I'm
with
not.
the most wins, brother. The whole game and the option of this is oh my god, he is drink low and
Come on, go ahead. Finish saying what you're saying. This is a weekly thing. You gotta have it.
Let's go back to that. How much tech does one need to have? Now, the whole idea for me behind technology, consumer technology, is to make my life easy.
Okay.
Right? I'm looking for ways of automating routine, mundane tasks. So if it's automatic email signatures, if it's automatic syncing to devices, if it's automatically doing whatever, or minimizing steps. Heck, when we go live, I just tap the back of my phone 2 times and all the lights go down, the hue lights come on. I've got a shortcut set up, so I don't have to go through and manually do that. Those are the kinds of things that technology does. That's how much tech that you need. Look, don't go overboard, but have enough, I think, to make it useful in your life. My whole idea is around consumer technology is to have it to be where it's functional, it's useful, and obviously have it where it's fun. Right? I don't have stuff I got a couple of things around here that are no longer useful, but at the end of the day, make sure that it's serving its purpose and not being a burden to you.
I
Right?
think that's fair, right? And it's funny because I only say that because the other day I stay on Amazon, the lightning deals, and I went out and bought the lights the other day, the lights that you have, not the lights that you put in your lamps. There's really no use case for me to have that in my house, but I also bought the smart plugs, and I'm like, the smart plugs are sitting right here, and it's like I'm gonna use them for the A10 Mini. I don't know if I got it right here. There we go. Let me see if I can get it. Will it focus? Come on, focus. Come on. There.
Come on.
I can't get it to focus. It's not. It's not working.
I don't know.
Man, no, this is the Sony A5100. I don't know why. But anyway, I have the smart plug, and it's like, okay, you can control it from your phone. That's cool, but it's like, now I remember when I was a kid, my mom, remember the clapper? You used to clap, and then the light go off and on. And my mom was like, we were the clapper when we were kids. Corey,
you were the one going up to the TV with the pliers, right? To change the channel.
And don't fool around and miss the channel, because now you got to go all the way back around. So I'm still old enough to remember those days. Yes. But now we have it now to where you can press the button on your phone and the lights can go off behind you. I actually have my light on right now behind my chair, and I thought it was going to glow, but the lights in front of behind my camera, you can't see the glow that I had. I thought that would be kind of cool to bring that in today, but it's like, I have no use case for the light bulbs for me.
Yeah.
But the smart plug, it was like, okay, I got an A10 Mini that does not turn off. So why not plug the A10 Mini into that? Now you can have it turned on. We just had this storm last week. Thank God I turned everything off, because most of the city was without power for the last weekend. So wow. the storm came in, and we're talking about people who didn't have power until Sunday.
Okay.
I was blessed because I didn't lose power, but I mean, where Tammy works at, Whole Foods lost product for 2 days. They had to throw everything away. Wow. So, so it's like their generators didn't work. It was like they just had to throw. They lost their dairy, they lost their meat, they lost everything. So I mean, but had I not turned my stuff off, what if that power surge would have hit my house and then I would have lost everything? Now the good thing is I do have one of those. I do have one of those power boxes that I get 45 minutes to turn off my, my computer. I'm smart, so that's a great tech use. But like I said, there's some things that, okay, it's cool to have, it's nice to have, but I'm pretty sure you and I both have things that we're not using that's probably outdated. It was nice when it lasted back in 2008 to 2010, and we just have it just sitting around. So
Facebook Marketplace, eBay, and Whoop, all of them, we're gonna fill up the store with some things.
We have the throwback version.
I got GoPros that aren't being used anymore. It doesn't make any sense.
Look, I had a friend that asked me for a cable yesterday that she needed, and remember the old external hard drives that used to use
old Western Digitals?
The old Western Digital, but they didn't have the USB-C. They didn't have the USB-C 3, or they didn't have this cable here with the flat.
Yeah, it was the mini micro or something.
No, not the micro, but the big one. She couldn't find that one, and I had to go into all my cables, and I was like, you know what? I got that cable. I had a bag full. I got a bag full of cables, and I got it.
I got the same thing. I'm not even going to front on you. I got the same type of thing. I got a wide array of connectivity options. So it's all good.
Well, since we're on Spotify,
yes,
and I think that's pretty cool. What you got going on over there, but Spotify has announced that for all the rappers, the R&B singers, the rock band members, they're going to now allow artists to give their songs a boost, but you get paid less in exchange.
Yeah, explain this to me. This when I read this, I didn't understand this. Tell me how this is good.
All right. So Spotify is going to test. They're going to test letting artists and labels influence more of what its algorithm promotes. So they're basically saying the new test for all artists and labels on the platform where they can decide to promote any music that's important to them. So, for example, if your favorite artist wanted to promote a song that they wanted that went viral on TikTok or Instagram or whatever it may be, they could decide to do so on Spotify's algorithm. They could decide to do so, and Spotify's algorithm would consider that request when building a radio session or when a listener enters autoplay.
Okay.
So this could apply to any song, including tracks that might be new or that artists may want to put extra promotional push behind. So they said in return for this extra promotional boost, Spotify says that it will be paying artists a lower promotional recording royalty rate whenever the songs are played during those auto plays or radio sessions. So what do you think?
This I don't know about this. Yeah, this doesn't make sense to me. I don't know, right? I can't even comment on it. It's I don't know who wins at this. I don't even know if Spotify wins at this, to be honest with you. So I like the creativity, right? And I like the fact that their platforms are looking out for creators and providing options within the platform.
They're not trying to pay no money. Let's just call it what it is.
That's where I was going to go, right? But at the end of the day, yeah, you got a whole bunch of viewers, listeners, subscribers, followers, whatever. But if you're spending your time and effort creating some content, you won't get paid for it. You won't get paid for your work, and I don't need my name on billboards. I actually want some residual revenue from these types of things. That's how I read into this, but whatever.
They said artists would hope that by promoting the song and taking a loss on those plays, they would make up the revenue if the song catches and people start directly trying to play it on their own. Yeah. So basically, okay, I don't think Spotify pays you. I don't think that you get a lot of money or based off of streams. So it's kind of like, take this money. It's some money is better. What they say, half of something is better than nothing.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna give you a quarter of something, and that's better than nothing.
Look, man, everybody out here, I'm trying to be like a millionaire, right? Make all my money off of ringtone. That's what I'm. That's
Yeah,
the mentality. That's where I'm coming from,
but the
right? When,
ring,
when
but
I think about this.
yeah, but the ringtone days are gone. You know
But you know,
that.
I know that, but but that's the mentality that I'm coming from with, right? Millionaire made a lot of his little extra coin by just having ringtones out there. Boom, 99 cents, 69 cents, whatever, and sold millions of them. Yeah, Spotify. Yeah, you're global. Yeah, you're providing me the platform. I can put my stuff out there, but you're gonna take away. You're gonna limit the amount of revenue that I can get from this. SoundCloud, Mixcloud, all these other platforms don't have those types of limitation. And if you own that platform, or if you put that on your own website, you can put your little Cash App or your PayPal or whatever, and you can get your money for it. It's a weird catch-22 that I think that Spotify's put themselves in. But I do like, again, the fact that they're thinking of something for creators to do, right? I mean,
Well, I think, like you said, as a new artist, or if you're like, let's just say, like Meg Thee Stallion, for example, that song they came out, it had a viral song at the start of the pandemic. All the women were doing the dance, or they had their own rendition of it. That would have been great because it was starting to catch on, and then once it went viral, then they're going to quite naturally get the plays. Now, yes, they're going to get a lesser cut, but I don't know. I don't know if that's a good deal for the artist, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement with you, man. So I think this is just something. I don't know where the benefit is. It's just I think something. So,
yeah.
Okay.
So you want to do Netflix?
I'm getting tired of that. Look, no, I don't want my pressure to rise here. I'm over here looking at the electoral map over here and seeing if those numbers move. Let's save Netflix for later, man. Let's stay on the creator bandwagon and talk about the one that you had with Snapchat. Or did I bring that up about Snapchat?
What are you talking about?
I think I brought this one up. Yeah. So again, talking about creators, and here's another platform thinking of something different, right?
Okay.
Now Snapchat is allowing creators to actually show how many subscribers that they have. So the old Vine, the old what else is out there? The TikTok, whatever. This works, I think, from a creator's perspective to now show what their perceived influence is as they work with advertisers. That's why this kind of drew my attention. Now I can go out and talk to an advertiser or talk to an organization and say, on my Snapchat feed, I've got this million number of subscribers. So I can command or ask for this amount of money from you as an advertiser. I think it's good for creators from that perspective because again, everyone's always looking for what are the analytics, what are the the KPIs, what are you going to give for me if I'm going to do business with you as an advertiser and as an influencer. So I just saw that and I thought that was kind of interesting. Again,
I'm not a big fan of the subscriber counts because people are, there's workarounds, and it's like, what's the true engagement that a person has with you? Like, okay, I was looking up somebody today, and I forgot the young lady's name, but I saw her on somebody's post. She got tagged, and I said, well, who is she? I've never heard of her before. I go to her page, and she had like 841,000 followers. Okay, cool. I went to her actual post and she had like 930 views or 930 likes. And it was like, okay, is she engaging with these people? Is she having a conversation with them? So it's like, okay, I think influencers are taking this out of proportion. I have 20,000 followers and all people see is numbers. Well, what about the people that are actually doing the work like myself or like you? So, okay, we don't have the followers, but we have actual engagement and we break things down and we show you things. But now I got to go pay somebody to go manage my account, inflate my numbers to make me look good. But I really know my stuff. Yeah. You don't know your stuff, but yet you're commanding dollars because you have this amount of followers, but you have no engagement with your followers.
But that's the game, right? I mean, not saying that it's right, because again, so folks like you and I in the trenches doing everything from marketing to promotion to creation to everything, right? But then you've got someone else who has a whole team maybe of doing those things, and they don't really have that conversation back and forth. Yeah, it's a whole different type of story. But the game is when someone like Starbucks is looking for, I'm just using them as an example. Want someone to go out there and promote their latest drink.
You
They're
should
going
have
to look
said
at
Minute
someone
Maid.
that has Minute Maid, someone that's got 2 million followers as opposed to someone that's only got 2,000 followers. They're not even going to look at the underlying analytics. They're not even. They're not. They're not even going to care that you share it out to one person and then all 2,000 others are going to engage and like and comment or whatever. They don't care about that. They just want that one hit out there to however many people. If you've got
But
too many,
this is where big business fails at. So you have 840,000 followers and you share it, but if that is something that they don't care about, then who cares? But if we're talking tech and we only have 2,000 followers and we say we're going to push this out, then you have 2,000 people, you have 2,000 sales as opposed to possibly getting 100 sales of people that might be interested.
yeah, I completely agree with you, and I'm glad we're having the conversation out loud because what you and I are talking about right now on camera is exactly what we're doing with this one particular company, right? That we may have on the show in a couple of weeks.
Correct.
Right? We've had those conversations and emails saying we can do X, Y, and Z if you work with us, and they said yes. So I mean, we've already gotten that credibility, and that's going to happen. But
it's about
not everyone puts all that work in, though, right? Not everyone does all that.
But the question is, would you rather know that you have a solid 100 sales with, let's just say, 1,000 followers? Mm-hmm. That's 10%. Or would you say, I'm going to throw out a blast and you're paying me all this money, and it's basically quality over quantity? Because at the end of the day, my 10%, they're going to actually use the product, they're going to engage in the product, and they're going to appreciate the product.
True.
But if you go out and get somebody like a Cardi B or a Meg Thee Stallion, I'm just throwing out two random names, and they just say, well, hey, y'all, this is what it is, but they may not even brand or even care about the brand.
True. That's true.
So at the end of the day, it's one of those things where, okay, it is no different from club owners. Like I'm a videographer. I was the guy in the club, and I would do quality work, stay up all night to have the video turned around by morning. And this is what you missed at the club. And then somebody comes in with their cell phone, turn it on, and press record.
Yeah.
And then it's like, this is why you need to be in the club because I got da. But they're not leaving, and they're not leaving their house. They're just watching a free show. Now, when they have concerts, think about it. Everybody got their cell phones out. I don't have to leave my house. I don't. I'm watching your full-fledged concert. Somebody told me I was at a concert, one of the drive-in concerts here in Atlanta, and they said, "Thank you for going out there during the pandemic. Thank you for going and providing this for me." They didn't have to spend the $100 for the ticket because they were able to watch the show. Tallboy was up close and personal, and I was right there at the stage, and you can watch the show for free. Whereas when before I would be like, all right, well, the show has now happened. Here's a snippet. This is what they're going to be doing next week or the next time they come. This is why you should go get your tickets. But if I'm sitting there watching it live, then I watch the whole show. I'm good.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, that's what's up. How you doing? Hey man, don't start no mess, James.
I put it on the screen there, brother. Look out!
I'm just providing tech. That's it, man.
You just doing what you do. Shouts out to you. Man, the man knows his stuff. That's why subject matter expert, y'all. Subject matter.
I mean, but this is something that I love to do, and once again, since we're on this subject, is okay. I don't have the followers, but my body of work speaks for itself. And so, how do you tell a brand, say, hey, you have a diehard person that believes in your product and your brand, but now that we live in this microwave society, they don't care about that. And my thing is, how do you find clients, or how do you find businesses or brands to say, hey, let's partner together, and you have someone that's totally vested into your product because they eat, sleep, and breathe it, as opposed to somebody that's just saying, hey, I have this follower account, and I blast it once. We're gonna put you on a contract, and we're gonna, just like the radio station or TV station, you pay us this amount of money, and we're gonna run these ads on a schedule, and that's all you're gonna get. Whereas you got somebody like me that's gonna speak passionately about. you get what I'm saying?
I use it every single day, and I know.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm with you. No, you got no complaints from me. Again, I'm in the same boat. I just I want creators to get their fair share for sure, man. Because
what?
No, because we put in the work, we put in the effort, and we know our audiences. So pay creators for their just dessert.
So since we're still talking about streaming.
Yeah.
22 million users are using a streaming service called Peacock.
Yeah.
I've seen it, but I have not downloaded it.
Yeah.
And I think it has something to do with NBC. Is that correct?
Yeah. So Peacock is everything NBC. All the old school shows, everything that they've ever had on, so you can catch up on anything that they've ever played throughout their entire history. And they've got some new series as well. It's decent, right? It's actually pretty darn good, right? Yeah. So Peacock is out there, and it's coming out.
So for the people that are not familiar with Peacock, is it similar to like a Netflix and an Amazon Prime Video, or is it more like a Hulu?
It's more like, it's not as fully fledged as Netflix. It's all only NBC. So, and it's not Hulu, because Hulu is live TV plus. It's like an Amazon Prime Video, I would say. Yeah, like an Amazon Prime Video, I would say. Yeah. So yeah, Kenny, there you go. Right. And that's the story, right? I got it free from Xfinity, which is cool to all 22 million of us, or however many. But the question is, ain't nobody paying for it. Ain't nobody paying. That's how I kind of also put it in play. I mean, it's kind of its own thing. CBS has their own all access. I don't know if ABC has anything, but NBC has their catalog of. It's almost like Disney Plus. No, it's not even like Disney Plus. I just forget everything I'm saying. I'm sleeping.
Do you see this comment on the screen?
I shot to my man Mark Stewart there. I see you, brother. What you talking about? I know it's just it. Oh, right. There you go. We need to get this brother on camera too.
It's a catalog just repackaged. All right. So yeah. I guess here's my thing.
Yeah.
People. All right. So cable was high. People were paying for cable for years.
Still are. God, though.
No, I think a lot. No, people are cutting the cord. I think a lot of people cut the cord, and I think and cable companies were paying a hefty price. And because people were saying, I just want the internet, they went out and got Fire Sticks, they went out and got Netflix, they went out and got Hulu, and then Hulu and Netflix were like some early adopters, shall we say. And then now everybody like Disney Plus and HBO Max and all the cable, they're all saying that they have these little streaming providers, but everybody's trying to charge a price for streaming content. And I think people are not going, it's just like music. People aren't going to pay for streaming service. I just don't think that is there. I think you have to put that cost to the advertisers as opposed to putting it to the customers.
Put the cost to the advertisers. Yeah. Okay. I had to think about that, and I that makes sense, and I agree with that.
You charging me $8.99. By the time I get through with $8.99, $14.99, and the next story we're going to talk about, you're going to be mad about that one as well. But I mean, it's like we're talking about, by the time you get through paying for everybody's streaming exclusive packaging, you're now paying for cable all over again. and people are not paying attention. And that's why I said, I will look you dead in the face. I will look Netflix. I'm not using your I'm not paying. I'm using somebody's password. I love you. It's no, and it's not to be funny or disrespectful, but it's like I don't watch TV like that. So if I catch a show, then I just want to watch that show. I don't want to pay for a monthly service for something that, okay, well, you love Netflix or Hulu or Peacock or whoever, HBO or Disney Plus. Why should I have? All right, look, like my girlfriend says all the time, it doesn't make sense in me paying for five services. You're paying for 5 services. Save that $20 because that $20 eventually adds up. 20 times 12 is what? That's money that you're giving up. Did he freeze on us again? I think he froze. Oh my God. I told him that internet ain't the greatest, but Mark, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, see, look, look at that. Look, can somebody? Oh, you supposed to screenshot that, man.
Hold on.
Oh man.
But the stream didn't end. So the money that I put into the platform here made sure that the show was still going. If you hadn't said nothing, nobody would have known anything that my machine tried to reboot just now.
This bootleg operation you got going on over there in the Silicon Valley, I don't know. I thought you was a techie, man. You got all this great tech stuff with. Look, you got all this great tech stuff with, but you putting like 87 gas in a premium vehicle.
I'm putting the regular letter. But if you had again, see. I'm paying for the top tier of this particular platform.
This boy is driving a Tesla.
I just left.
He driving a Tesla, yeah. but he putting 87 gas in his car. Like, bro, you gotta put. Come on, man.
Why you didn't have to put me out there like that though, right?
Yeah, you froze. I'm sitting there talking to you like this.
You could have talked to the audience then.
I didn't know you froze, man.
This is like
look, we're gonna have to start running on high, bro. We gotta start driving. See, I got me a nice little 2000 Buick LeSabre with a little titty, a little dent. Yeah. But driving 87. But I got that not. But look, it's a good car.
That's right. Okay, you saw me. Okay.
See, I got a GM. Yeah. General Motors. See, we got some pure power.
Boy. God, dog.
Man, you got this bootleg over here, boy. Help me, y'all. Help. Look, we're gonna get James a GoFundMe account for his internet service.
You know what it is? Hold on. You know what this is? So, and we talked about this, and I'm doing something counter what I said before. I'm actually using Microsoft Edge. That's the only. I just realized that's the only difference of what's going on with my whole environment right now. And I remember when it made those updates, I said I am not using Edge, but for some reason I switched just to be hard-headed, and that's what blew up. Edge blew. Everything else was fine. I'll be back.
So you tried to open something up, and Edge took over.
Yeah, I wanted to open. So I tried to open up the pricing tiers for Peacock.
Oh my God!
And it just went. It just went all down the toilet.
Right. So for the ones that are watching and have not heard what we were talking about, 2 weeks ago we talked about Microsoft Edge.
That's what happened. Okay, go ahead.
We talked about Microsoft Edge and how it's the competitor. Well, it's Microsoft's new competitor, or it's a new platform. Whereas you're accustomed to hearing about Internet Explorer, but most people use Google Chrome. He chose to use Microsoft Edge, and what Edge said is every time you use try to use Internet Explorer, it automatically stops and it goes into Edge, shall we say? And he's trying to use this as his excuse.
I was just being hard-headed.
But he's all. But see, here's the funny thing: he's all things Mac, but now all of a sudden he wants to use Microsoft Edge. So that's the inside joke, and that's why we're laughing. So for the ones who
I'm a paradox in and of itself right here, but I tell you what, I will be I'll be going to get my new headphones after we get offline, and I will be uninstalling Edge in like 10 minutes. Don't
use the ones. Please use the ones that you already have in house, like I'm using right now. It's free 99 because it's already in your house. Why are you going to spend more money? Help me. I need to get some Christmas presents. You know, maybe we could do like a Christmas thing for the people that watch our show faithfully.
Yes,
you know, instead of you out here buying headphones, you know, maybe give them a $5, $10 Amazon gift card. You know, since we're talking tech, you know,
we can do something like that. We'll talk about that. See if that's in the budget. It might work. It might work.
So all right. So back to Peacock. All right.
Back to Peacock. So for folks who eventually will be paying for it, but yeah, I got it free through Xfinity for, I think it's for lifetime because I'm Xfinity One or whatever. So that's awesome. But because it's, yeah, like you said, $4.99 and $9.99 per month, and that's just, you know, that's a lot of money per year to pay for something like, you know, like as Smash say, you know, she's like you, she doesn't watch TV a lot, so you know, paying for all these platforms can get to be tough a little bit. Man, I'm all flustered right now. We got my stuff going down. I haven't slept.
Well, since we're talking about Peacock right now, we might as well go ahead and switch over to the other platform because I think you got to pay more money, right?
Yeah, let's make sure we don't blow up the screen here again. Yeah,
Jay, help me. Jay, help me.
I'm upset about this though. It's getting to that point right now.
It only went up $1 though, right?
I'm paying up $18 now, $17.99, whatever. You know, I still need to cut that debit or that reduction from my account every single month for programming that.
Remember I said I wasn't going to stand in the line for PlayStation?
Yeah.
Remember? Well, I think you need to just go ahead and cancel your account. Call Tammy up and tell Tammy, "Can I just get your password?" Because you already
be that fourth family member on.
I think you need to go. I'm trying to tell you, you might as well just go ahead and call Tammy and say, "Can I get your password? I got you on your birthday gift and your Christmas gift." I'm just trying to tell you, man. Like I'm trying to help a brother. Y'all paying all this money. Now remember, when Netflix came out, they were $5.99 and they would send you the DVD.
Send the DVD too, man. You used to love getting them
they
DVDs.
Went from $5.99 to $18.
That's true. Look, I'm getting close. I know what you're saying, Mark. I know it's one of those things that you get accustomed to and you get used to, and it's
but I like this one. This is what Mark said. They're gonna continue to Netflix. All right. Well, you get Netflix and chill, but I'm gonna use it on somebody else's account. So
you're gonna do it without paying $18 a month.
Look, your wife gonna be like, "Who is Tammy?"
There you go.
Hey, I'm just trying to help you out, brother. I'm trying to save that $18 debit coming out of your account, bro. Like if I can get rid of Audible, I mean, that would be awesome. But I mean, I
thought about we're bouncing back and forth. We'll talk about Audible because that's something that's new in my wheelhouse as well too.
I could have gave you my password because I got 5 books I ain't even using, bro. I got 5 credits you can just have right now. Like
maybe you can gift them to me. Maybe you can gift them.
Oh man!
So I'm just gonna say Netflix is getting close to that point where it's going to get to be uncomfortable. Right, it's $18. If they do it again in even a year, I'm gonna have to let it go.
When was the last time they did a price hike? When was the last time they did? So they raised the price when? Because they just raised the price not too long ago, right?
I think it may have been a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. Yeah, something like that. So yeah, it hasn't been that long ago that we just went through this pain. But so look, I'm paying for Netflix. Paying for Disney Plus, paying for my daughter's paying for her own Hulu account, but you know we got Hulu here. I don't know why, but Peacock's free.
I like it.
I'm paying $35 extra per month for streaming services, and the only TV that I really watch is like Discovery Channel and a little bit of and ESPN. I only watch 2 channels. That's
So,
all I watch.
so just like you had that conversation last night about the voting and
Yeah.
talking about we're going to have a hard conversation with the family, I think you need to have a hard conversation with the family about this right here. Be like, look, everybody gonna have to chip in and start doing something because right now,
Man,
Daddy,
everybody gonna need to get a job. Start contributing.
no, Zaddy got it. Go ahead, Zaddy. I told you, Zaddy got it. Go ahead, Zaddy. Go ahead. Zaddy. Look, your daughter said I'm independent. She said I'm IND.
Yeah, look, she got the college rate too, so she got the whole college student rate for
You
her.
using her? You using her password?
Yeah, we using her. I
love it, man. I love it.
I'm not gonna throw them out there like that, but yeah, we do utilize that amongst the house.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, man. Like, hey, look, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Look, I saw the show, but it just wasn't under my account. Now you go ahead and keep paying that money, and they be like, "Thank you, boss man. Thank you, Zaddy. Thank you." I'm be like, "Yeah." And we still, did you miss anything? My pocket's still looking nice. Yours is.
They a little light. They a little light right now. Yeah, I got a lot of lint going on, but I don't want to talk about that. Thank you for hashing that up and having that story. So that's crazy, right? So now here again, I'm going back and forth. So there's that, but there's one more streaming service I want to talk about, or one more subscription service besides Audible. Damn, Kenyon came through with a big one.
Let's see what he had. What he had to say.
Yeah, while I'm talking to you. So Audible, right? So I love Audible because I don't like to physically read. I don't. I like books, but I don't like to physically read. Right? I don't know why. So having audiobooks, the last one that I actually listened to, honestly, was a Malcolm Gladwell book, and I just finished, believe it or not, Kevin Hart's The Decision, which was actually pretty decent.
Okay.
You hear crazy Kevin, but you can't listen to Kevin Hart while you're in the gym working out because he's cracking too many jokes. But he's dropping some gems out there, motivational, just positive thinking, affirmation, things like that. So I love that. I finished that, so I used my extra credit and I pre-ordered Barack's new book that's coming out. I think next week or in a couple of weeks.
You ordered the book? Like, come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I pre-ordered so I don't forget to get it, the day that it comes out. I want to get it the day it comes out. What are you talking about? But
people in pre-order, they doing too much. I can understand PlayStation and Xbox, what they're doing. I can understand phones, but I mean, at this point, every company is overdoing pre-orders. And I know that's a little separate from what we're discussing, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, hold on. I was reading what Kenyon wrote. You took it down already. But so yeah, the whole Audible thing, I think I'm still going to keep that. I like that because again, that helps me with the mental, right? It gives me a time to get away from screens. I can just listen to a book, hopefully get some knowledge, get some calmness. I listen to mainly business audiobooks, self-help, kind of motivation and things like that. So that as opposed to anything else. So
I can give you some great reads when you're ready. Right now, I'm listening to Marketing Made Simple by Donald Miller. Believe it or not, I just finished 50 Cent's Hustle Harder book, and I was not going to read this book, but because someone recommended it, Mary L. Trump, Too Much Is Never Enough. I actually read the book about Donald Trump and how he came up from her lens. And I was actually impressed with that book. But John Hope Bryant, he has a book called The Memo. And I really think that you guys need to check out that book called The Memo. I think, and he just had a book that just released last month called Up. Let me see the actual title of it. But I mean, anything John Hope Bryant, I think you will definitely walk away saying, wow, really wow. So yeah, check those. That's what I'm
right now. What's his name?
John Hope Bryant.
There you go.
They're Up From Nothing. That's that's kind of like, it's not an autobiography, but just talk about, you know, having a respectable credit score, home ownership, how he was able to build relationships with President Clinton, and now he has the whole global forums, and how powerful that has turned into be, how he's been able to work with a lot of financial companies because of, you know, it's like if you hang around 9 broke people, you're gonna probably be the 10th. If you hang around 10 10 rich people, you're gonna be probably rich. So I try to hang around people like you, and so I can continue to get this wealth of knowledge and be great. I'm not trying to hang around my boy Kenyon over there, you know. So I love you, Kenyon.
I'm not gonna get in on that. I'm gonna leave that alone.
I was just messing with you, Kenyon. You my dog, right?
Okay. I'll check that out.
Check out
what was the name of the Barack book though? Hold on, Promised Land. That was the one I pre-ordered. So I'm looking forward to that coming out on the 17th. That should be another good read.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Come on. Let's go on, because we about to get over, man. We got to wrap things up, and we ain't talking nothing Apple outside of your Apple Watch. So I've been waiting for this one right here. LG will supply Apple with mini LED screens for the new iPad Pro. I told you. Why are you using Apple products? You're using our stuff. I have an LG, so you know I gotta rub this in, man. So
I'm not even putting up any shared screen. I'm gonna put up a comment that doesn't even match this. I'm just gonna put up this comment. It doesn't even match. Look.
I'm just saying. So LG will supply Apple with mini LED screens. The American manufacturer will use it for its new generation iPad Pro products. In addition, Samsung Electronics plans to release the mini LED TVs in 2021, which brings business opportunities to mini LED suppliers. According to the news, this is the first time that Apple has introduced mini LED backlight panels and first applied to the iPad products. And then Apple will apply this technology to other products, including the MacBook and the iMac.
True.
Man, they saying it plans to be. They look forward to it taking off in 2021. So you're using my stuff.
I'm using your stuff. It's peer pressure is what it is. That's how I look at it. I can't deny it. I think it's a good thing.
But right? Okay? So my thing is, y'all got y'all own. Look, you got your own little Apple One thing. You got your. You got your own stuff. Last week, I think we said that you guys are trying to use your own streaming. Like you missed last week's show. So last week we were saying, Eric and I were saying, Apple, instead of using Google, they're trying to create their own platform to where their own Google their own Google service. So it's like
I read that story.
So it's like y'all trying to use our stuff. So it's like, okay, I get it, but I mean. Big brother, little brother trying to leave big brother, but you still need big brother. You get what I'm saying?
I agree with that as well. And look, I think it's an economies of scale thing. I think, look, Apple's always used Corning for the Gorilla Glass. I think everyone uses Corning for their Gorilla Glasses for the screens, but now LG is doing some good things. So hopefully, I think they're just using the best product that's out there. No qualms about it at all, but. I think it's funny just because of the fact that LG just came out with that very cool phone, the Wing, just recently, and now this week, 2 weeks later, whatever, Apple and LG are collaborating on this aspect. So I think that's very, very, very coincidental. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm an investor in Apple. I'm not an investor in LG yet, but we'll see how it works out.
You just can't get rid of us. That's all.
Can't get rid of you, man.
All right, real quick, we got 2 more topics, and it kind of ties in with each other. One more thing. I think we should have waited for next week for this, but since you wanted to jump the gun and make it seem and be positive with Apple, tell me about this little thing about one more thing with Apple, and then I think they also had something else. Sign up for Apple One. Are you familiar with that? Can you real brief?
All right.
We run out of time.
I'm gonna rub it in you on you, and hopefully my screen's again.
Oh,
Man,
God.
I'm nervous.
Here we go with the edge.
So Apple One, hold on, my Amazon assistant popping up for some reason. I think I'm trying to buy something. Another subscription service. Apple's got their own. It's all of their it's all of their services, right? Apple is now really starting to turn away from a hardware vendor as much, but more into a services vendor because that's where the recurring revenue is coming
Correct.
from. That makes sense, right? That just makes sense.
Right.
So these are the offerings that they have, and they just launched this a couple of days ago. Individual, family, and Premiere for music, for fitness, TV, arcade, and iCloud. iCloud is the storage, similar to the Google Cloud.
Okay.
I just signed up for the Premiere. I think you get like a month free, so I signed up for that. You can have the yeah, that's another $29.95 a month right there. Right? I'm just cutting checks for it. God, dog it.
I hope by the end of the year you sit down and you ask yourself, how much money am I really spending? And ask yourself, what can I get rid of? Or who can I have? What can Isaiah take on? What can my wife take on? What can my daughter take on? What can my dad take on? I hope you do that, because right now you getting pimped, bro. Like
I am, bro. Look, I'm out there. Look, I'm out there. That's why we hustle all the time.
You're a sucker over there. Like you getting used, and then you didn't go get the individual and just tell everybody to use your account. You went out and got the Premiere. You got the
The Premiere is for everyone, so I can have everyone, because I already had Apple TV Plus, Apple Music, and iCloud with more storage. So this is probably going to save me.
They said about $6 to $12.
Yeah, about 6 months a month, right? When you add everything together. So
I can send you $6.
Okay, you know PayPal.
I can send you $6. If you're only saving $6, I mean, come on, man. Like, help me. I want to help y'all. Please help me help James. But I need y'all to go in the comments and tell him he needs to have an intervention with himself. You know how they cut up the credit cards and say you can't use them no more. Like, y'all help him understand that he don't need to have. That's why I can't wait to November 12th. PlayStation 5 come out.
Yeah,
I ain't got no worries. I'm trying to leave. We're going to end talking about Apple right now, because PlayStation 5 come out in less than 10 days. And it already comes with 17 games downloaded. I mean, that you can download, are already available if you have a PlayStation Plus account. So that's one account that I paid for 1 year.
Yeah.
Got 17 games that I automatically download for free. Automatically. On top of the games that I already got on my PS4 that are compatible.
Right from the giddy up.
And I'm sitting in the house minding my own business. But you want to drop $29.95, $18, $5.99. Like, man, help.
I may have to raise the prices for sponsored posts on Infotainment News, because
hey, man, I'm trying to help
the deal right now. Yeah, folks are getting the deal right. There may be a price hike at the start of the calendar year for sure, just to cover some of these expenses. Wow. It's all good, man. Look, it's all in fun, right? Hey, that's what we do this for, right? Again, have a little, put some of it away, make sure the lights are still on,
right?
And then have something for the family and for fun. So that's what it's all about. I'm done, man. I got nothing else to say about Apple today except for the.
I don't even know why you like to take this abuse, bro.
Look, leave me alone, man. When is it? It's is it the 17th? No, on the 10th, Apple's doing their One More Thing event, probably going to be announcing laptops and systems based off of their own processors. So they're leaving Intel. We'll see. We don't know. That's the rumor, but they're having that event on the 10th, 10 o'clock in the morning, to announce whatever. We'll see what that's all about.
I think you could have waited till next week for that, but it's okay.
No, we'll wait till next week and actually say what it's all about, right? Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, teasing with it. That's a great way to end the show, my man.
You trying to go? Hold on. Let's see what projections are. Are we still 253 to 213? Okay. All right.
Oh, Georgia hasn't made their decision yet. Okay.
Still waiting on you. Still waiting on y'all, boy. Y'all,
I just hope we do not fail, y'all. That's all I
man.
can
Hey, let me tell you something. I got happy when I saw my extended home of Virginia come through, man.
say.
When Virginia came through, I was like, yeah, man. Go ahead, Richmond.
But to be
Go ahead,
honest,
Hampton.
but to be honest with you, we really and we're talking about the election now. To be honest with you, all we need is Nevada tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock or 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock your time,
Yeah.
12 o'clock our time. We just need Nevada just to stay blue and it's over with.
There it is. There it is. So I'm gonna go out there and hit these streets, get these headphones before everybody starts getting a little hectic out in them streets. So I'm gonna
You
go out
see,
there.
you see that color behind you? That's what we need.
I did change it from purple to blue tonight. That's crazy. I don't know why. Hey, I'm not saying anything, nothing, not a political statement or nothing. That was subconscious, y'all. That was subconscious.
I got you, man. All
Hey,
right,
Mark,
man.
I see what you're saying about that, and we're gonna have a conversation about that as well too on some other shows because I agree with you wholeheartedly on that, brother. But look, it's no one. The country is completely divided right now, and we need some healing. And we need to get together. Whole another
Before
conversation for someone for another time, but that is too timely and relevant right there. And I'm actually planning to do a podcast myself just on that because I want to go deeper into this conversation. So
before we leave, let me
yeah,
ask you this question.
yeah,
And I know that this is a tech show, but now we're starting to talk political. And I don't want to go too far into it, but I want to leave with this thought, I guess. We had a chance to see what this current administration, the civil unrest that it could potentially start, it could potentially be, or stand back, stand by, whatever the case you want to call it. But we also saw where people were bold enough to show us who they truly were. I guess my question to you is, with this next administration, the previous administration, they did everything with class and with status. They never had not one scandal. They didn't have anything that went bad. With this, the question that I have for you now is, now that we've seen the ones that have already exposed themselves and showed who they truly were, good, bad, or ugly, however it may have been, do you think that this new administration will either make those people go back into hiding and we just don't know how you really feel? Or do you think it will continue? Or do you think that there could be some potential healing to say, hey, I may not agree with you, but let's find find some type of common ground?
wow. I'm an interesting cat to ask that question, right? Because I've made this statement before, and it's unfortunate that I feel this way, but I have lost a lot of faith in society. I have, right? Just within this last three and a half, however many years, just because of everything that's gone on from a negative perspective, social injustice, police brutality, all of that, right? Uh, Looking at the map right now, how it stands, it's completely divided. It's the Hatfields and the McCoys, right? It's Biggie and Pac, right? It's completely separate.
Mm.
Uh, Biden didn't turn enough in terms of his conversation of what he intends to do should he get the keys to 1600 Pennsylvania. It's obvious. It's evident by the count and what we're seeing, right? It's not the blue. There's no wave, right? That's not happening. It hasn't happened, not even from the presidential side, and not even from the Senate, and not even from the representatives. So I think he will do what he can to appease his base. I think he'll do what he can to go out and have those conversations, but Pandora's box has already been opened, right? So the radical left, right, wherever those folks are already out, and it's going to be hard to put that back into the box, right? It's just there, and we've got to find some additional social leaders locally to stand up and be vocal and to start healing amongst our communities ourselves. So we got to find our own sphere of influence to where we can influence into, right? I need to get out and go into my 5 mile radius of my house and start engaging, interacting, conversing, and hearing both sides and having conversations. That needs to ripple out into the city. That needs to ripple out into the county and all that. We got to do it at our level to help whoever's sitting at 1600 Pennsylvania, because that person can't do it all because it's too big of a task to handle. And I think that's one of the challenges that the society in the United States has to tackle and has to face. Right? We've always relied on the leaders to do everything, as opposed to coming up with what are you doing? At your level, you can do it. We can do a whole lot. And on this platform, we've done a lot. We've had a lot of real hard discussions with folks, right? We've had the roundtables about, when folks were dying, when folks were being killed. So we've had all those discussions. Those are starts, but you can't stop. Don't just talk about it. Be about it and do something about it. So that's my answer to that question, right? Again, I still I worry about us as a society. I worry about us as a society.
My last question for you is, who do you think, or maybe somebody in the comments can say this as well, who do you think could possibly be that next a leader to try to heal the country? It may not be the president, it may not be a pastor, it may just, but who do you think could possibly say, you know what, this is, you may feel this way, I may feel that way, but how do we come to some type of common ground? I think Martin Luther King tried to do it, but then after he passed away, who were our leaders after that? Who is that leader in this generation?
You know,
Do you see anybody on the rise, or that could potentially be on the rise?
no, and I think it's going to. So my hope is that it's actually one of the youth. My hope is that it's someone 16, 17, 18, 19, someone in that age bracket, right? Because those are the folks that are looking and seeing what's going on and saying, this is not right. They're the ones that are mobilizing and talking and doing all of the collaborative videos about, look, the more, every time I look online, I see what folks my daughter's age are texting and writing and saying about injustice and the 45 campaigns and all that, right? So they're the ones that are being active and having conversations. That's what's going to save us, is our youth, right? That's who's going to do it. They've got the energy, they've got the wherewithal. They saw some good, they seized the bad, and they know it can be better because it directly affects them. So that's who I'm hopeful.
I was gonna say, and I don't agree with this, but I think it may be some form of an entertainer, because I think music and sports heals all things. When you think about it, when we had 9/11, sports is what brought this country back together. When you think about music, whenever there was any type of political unrest before our time in the 50s and the 60s or in the 70s, when we were basically young adults, I think when you had those James Brown concerts or those benefit concerts, that kind of brought the healing to each other. So I don't think it should be an entertainer or an athlete, but I do think that they are in an idolization point of view. But I do like your thought that it should be some form of some form of youth, somebody that is youthful, that can be able to mend the fences on both sides. But when I think about it, I look at it from an athletic or some type of entertainer. That's just my thought process. But anyway, hopefully they can use tech and, through social platforms and, through whatever other technology aspects, they can bring it all together. And, hopefully they can, get people to, you can feel your way, but be respectful to the next man. That's it.
I like that. You know what? And on that note, brother, enjoy your night. You froze this time.